Japan travel ban. The ban that ruins lives of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm gonna talk about Japan travel ban. I wanted to talk about this topic because I have planned to study in Japan since June 2020 and I still haven't entered Japan because of the travel ban. And since I have already given up go to Japan, I want to make this video to let more people know about this issue, because if you're not a student or worker that are planning to go to Japan, you wouldn't even know about this ban. So disclaimer, this video is not a news information about the Japan travel ban and my personal experience on how it literally ruined my study plans.
You're just ruining it. Look at my lips. You're ruining it.
If you're interested in this topic and would like to know more accurate and latest updates, please check out channels like Rossi San and Ninja Monkey. Or you can go on Twitter to check out pages like Nyukoku News or StrandedOutJPN. For all my friends and family that keep asking why I'm not in Japan yet, this video is for you, because I got so tired of answering this question for the past year. I have decided and planned to go to Japan since June 2020, and I have applied for COE in November 2020. So for those who don't know, COE, which is the Certificate of Eligibility, is a document your school, institution or your company have to apply for you before you can get your visa. So normally if you got the document, you can straight away go apply for a visa, and it only takes 4 to 5 days for the visa to get approved. So basically once you have that COE, it won't be a big problem for you to apply for a visa if you want to go study or work in Japan. When the borders are closed, COE is basically just a useless piece of document because you can't do anything with it. You can't even apply a visa. It doesn't act like a pass to let you enter the country. It's literally just useless. And not to mention, you have to pay for the COE to go study or work in Japan. I got my COE back in February 2021, and I quitted my job after I got my COE because I thought I can straight away go apply for my visa and I can prepare to go to Japan soon. Each month there will be news about Japan saying that they were going to lift their state of emergency and open the borders soon, and the announcement is made every 2 weeks to 1 month, something like that. But every time when we thought the state of emergency is going to lift and they're going to open the borders soon, and they just announced that they are going to extend the state of emergency for another 1 month or 2 weeks, and the situations continue until even right now. How ridiculous is that? Months and months of extensions like that. First is the uprising of COVID cases in Japan, then it comes the Delta variant and Olympics, and after the Olympics there are elections, and we foreigners has waited patiently for the borders to be opened, and we have faith in Japan because we think they are humane and they will sort out all the problems and let foreigners in as soon as possible, and all the sufferings will be temporary. It's gonna be over soon. I held my hopes high every time and believe that this time will be the last time they will extend their borders. Man, was I so wrong. I was so wrong. They let 90,000 Olympic athletes to enter the country. Yeah, you heard me right, 90,000, and some of them are not even vaccinated. They even get special pass for DJs and artists to come in Japan to hold concerts with only 3 days of quarantine.
I finally made it to Japan. I'm in Tokyo. Now I have to quarantine for 3.5 days, and then we're gonna play the show here in Tokyo.
But I kept on telling myself, it's fine, they're gonna open for us soon. Olympic is not that long, it's just like 1 month or something. And wow, Japan organized an election after that. And then I told myself, it's fine, they will open after the elections. And guess what? They did. But only for 21 days. And with some really weird policies. For the entire time, Japanese government always gives out a very ambiguous answer and constantly using the word consider when they're being asked about the border measures. They always say we're considering carefully that we're going to open the borders, but nothing really happens. They just consider, and they have considered for a whole year. But on the 5th of November, for once in 2021, there is finally good news about the travel ban. On that day, Japan has announced that they're going to open the borders. They are going to open the borders for all essential travelers. Starting November 8th, everyone was so happy when they heard that news, and Davide Rossi even held a live stream at 12 AM. But the happiness doesn't even last for more than 12 hours. The Japanese government soon announced that they're planning to let COE holders, specifically international students and technical trainees, to enter the country by phase. Moreover, they require all COE holders to apply for a new document, which is called a screening certificate, which requires a ton of supporting documents and can only be applied by your school, company, or institution, and the document can take up to 2 weeks for it to be issued. So up until here, you might be wondering, what did they mean by enter by phase? So they have given us a timeline. If your COE was issued between January and March 2020, you will be able to apply for the screening certificate in November 2021. And for COE with the issue date from January 2020 to September 2020, you can apply for a screening certificate starting December 2021. And for COEs with issue date before 31st of March 2021, you can apply for a screening certificate in January 2020. So when you hear about that, you might think, okay, it makes sense to let people enter by batch because there are a lot of people, etc, etc, but really doesn't make much sense. Why doesn't it make sense? First, Japan has opened their borders shortly at the end of 2020. They opened the borders like for around 1 to 2 months, I guess, or maybe shorter than that. So most people with a COE from 2020 has entered the country, and right now there are only a very few amount of people with a COE from 2020 as compared to people with COE in 2021. So there's a poll on Twitter that shows the data of it, and you can see why it doesn't make sense because the percentage of people with a COE from 2020 is really low, and barely any people can apply for a screening certificate by the end of this year. And secondly, it takes so long for the screening certificate to be issued. The whole application process can take up to 2 weeks, which means even if you're able to apply for it in November, the earliest, and I mean the earliest time you can enter Japan is in either mid-December or late December. Although all the foreigners are forced to enter by phase, which is ridiculous because I don't think we should justify our urgency based on the COE issue date. But you know what? Most of us are like, fine, we have waited for so long. It's just like a month or two more. If Japan doesn't close their borders after that, just a month or two will be fine. But no matter how ridiculous the policy is, it's basically useless at this point because they have announced that they're going to close the borders after the breakout of the Omicron strain, and by that time Japan only opened their borders for 21 days. On the 27th of November, Prime Minister Kishida has announced that the entrance of foreigners from the country with Omicron strain will not be allowed. Everyone was so worried that Japan are going to close their borders like how they did last time, and most people were assuming Japan will close their borders during January. Boy, are we dead wrong. 2 days later. Yes, 2 days later. On the 29th of November, Prime Minister Kishida has announced that Japan will close the borders again in 24 hours, which means foreigners will not be allowed to enter Japan again starting on 30th of November. It took so long for them to open the country, but it will only take 24 hours for them to close the borders again.
You can't do it! I can't. You are stressing me to hell.
It doesn't matter if you have your visa, you have bought your plane ticket, you are applying for your screening certificate. It all doesn't matter. All the visa application process or screening certificate application process will be on a pause during this emergency measure. Prime Minister Kishida has said that they will close the borders until 31st of December. So basically right now, anyone that doesn't have a Japanese nationality cannot enter the country. It was said to be a 1-month ban, but lately Prime Minister Kishida has said that will be extended at least until the beginning of January. And if you are curious how many people have successfully entered Japan when Japan opened their borders, here's a picture on the screen. And as you can see, there are only 3 international students made it to Japan. Most people, including myself that suffers from the Japan travel ban, has lived in total darkness with depression and anxiety while praying every day for the borders to open. The ban has ruined so many people's life. Well, you might say at least you can still do online class, right? The language school I applied to, they charge extra for online class. They charge an extra 1,200 Malaysian ringgit, which is around, I'm not sure, $300? I just don't have the money to afford it. I was forced to put my studies on pause just because I chose Japan. I have planned to go to Japan when I was 18 years old and I'm almost 20 right now. I couldn't make any major decisions like getting a full-time job or go to a local uni because Japan is always giving us the false hope and making us think that Japan will open soon, but no one really knows how soon is that. There are people that sold their house, sold their cars because they thought they can move to Japan soon, and there are couples and families that forced to separate from each other for the past 2 years because Japan doesn't allow them to enter the country. This travel ban is extremely inhumane. It has used our love towards the country and make us wait and wait and wait. It is emotionally abusing us. All of us lost so much time and money solely because we chose Japan. We love Japan. For the past 2 years, our life was left blank. After the latest travel ban announcement, I have decided to give up on Japan and enroll in a local uni, but I lost my scholarship because although I am eligible to apply for a very attractive scholarship with my result, because the university only recognized the result within 1 year from the enrollment date, and I have waited for almost 2 years for Japan, so I have to pay for full tuition. Thanks Japan, very cool. Most of us aren't rich. We go to Japan to study, to work, to chase our dreams, and we worked hard to get scholarship or even just a chance to go to Japan.
このジョルノ・ジョバーナには夢がある。何言ってんだお前。
It sure hurts a lot because we have invested so much time and money towards the country, and we're not parasites, and we're not trying to leech the country. We paid full tuition and are willing to pay for all the quarantine and necessary procedures just for us to enter the country. We are not illegal immigrants. We will contribute to the country's economy, and we will contribute our knowledge and diversity. I understand that the Japan government is caring about their own people, but I have never felt lighter after I have decided to give up on that Japan dream. Cutting loss at this point, I think is the best decision I can make. I cannot afford to spend my time on Japan anymore. I am making this video to let more people know about this travel ban and hopefully to raise more awareness to more people about this issue and finally make it official to say goodbye to Japan. Don't get me wrong, I still love Japan, I still love JoJo, I still love the amazing food and culture, and I will definitely still travel to Japan when I'm allowed to, but to study and live there permanently, probably not my first choice after all this traumatizing experience with the Japan travel ban. Even though I'm not going to Japan anymore, I still hope that Japan will let people in their country as soon as possible. And if you would like to support this issue, you can go check out the Twitter page like Nyukoku News and Stranded Outside of Japan for more petitions that you can sign and catch up the news update. I would also like to use this chance to thank the Japanese people that has always supporting us on Twitter. They are the people that makes me restore my faith in humanity. For the people that cannot change country or doesn't want to change country, please keep fighting and we will give you all the support we can. We're in this together and the best is yet to come. 一緒に頑張りましょう! And if you have watched until here, please consider to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos. And I will see you next time. Bye!